Welcome everyone to today's workshop. This workshop will be hosted by our Director of International Sales, Dr. Melissa Cow.
Thank you, Mars. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you again. So today's workshop is a series of the retail workshop. We had one earlier, I believe 2 weeks ago, where we talk more about the advancement in technology for people counter, how prices has gone down 10 times cheaper, but with 10 times more metrics and 10 times more business value that it could bring. So this is the second workshop in the series, and today we're going to talk more about the RFI for stage for the retailer. So I'm not going to explain what are the RFI. I'm sure everyone is very familiar with the stages in the buying process. Today I'm more talking about the RFI stage. The others we will cover in the subsequent workshop. So with the RFI, the target audience are those who have not had a people counter in their shops before. So they're exploring. They're exploring what's out there, what's in the market. They're also probably thinking about what they should be looking for because they have not they're not familiar with this solution before, or maybe those that have had a system, they were the innovator and they had the system 10, 15 years ago. Now they're looking at changing to a new device. So again, they want to see what's available out there in the market. All retailers have limited budget for that, and this industry is quite fragmented. There are quite a lot of offerings out there. So today we're going to be as impartial as possible. We're going to tell you on a high level how do you gather what you would need? What is your ultimate roadmap? What are your different phases? A lot of time retailers do not just go complete rollout or deployment on day one. They go on the different phases. So what you should be looking at, maybe, at a phase one with a tight budget, what can you do and what can you achieve and what can you get out of there? So in the least possible time and effort as possible so that you can get all the information from the market to compile your subsequent RFP if you decided to go down the route. So in the next meeting, in this workshop, we're going to tell you what you should ask your other stakeholder, because you probably, when you're investing in a system, you're wanting to make sure that as many people or as many team and department in your business are able to make use of it. Yeah. So we will offer a template to fill up as impartial as possible so that you can kickstart that. Then the next one in the RFP, we're going to talk about how to answer your exact requirement. So now you've come down to say, okay, we need this, but not that. But in this specific requirement, how we're going to answer that, how you can go on getting your in-depth planning with your floor plan and to do a system design on your floor plan, what are the coverage metrics and so forth, and all the deliverables, design consideration yet. So what are the things you need to design, to consider about to put it into your design so that you ensure you get what you need now, as well as you have a future roadmap, an upgrade path for that. And of course, all the cost analysis into there. Then obviously moving on to RFQ and so forth, then we're more talking about, the on the installation, licensing, what are those costs, setup, commissioning, integration, and all those, and to compare the total cost of ownership between the different supplier on there. And then later on, everyone is talking about AI now, AI analytics. What are those things? So that you can have a structural way to approach this topic. Do you want to look at your in-store shopper demographic, your different classification? Are they a bargain hunter? Are they indecisive? Or are they just casual shopping and things like this? So, and AI simulations, like if I move the display of my product from here to here, what's the impact on the customer flow? What's the impact on the engagement with the product, and subsequently the impact on the sales? So we're going to cover those in the upcoming email. upcoming workshop. So people counting at the store. Typically, what are people, retailers looking at? Usually with one device at the entrance. This is the entrance, counting number of people going in and out of your shop. So those were the visitor count. Ideally, it could also count group, because you want to know if they come in on their own or if they're coming in the group of 3 or a family group or group of 2. So because that, of course, impact your, I'm just going to put this in a loop. Sorry, so then you can keep watching. In a group to give you a more realistic sales conversion against the group, as well as against the total footfall, visitor duration, how long they stay inside the shop, and also outside traffic. How many people actually pass by outside, giving you a turn-in rate, the percentage of people who pass by outside actually come in. So you can look at your marketing effectiveness. If you have done this promotion or this marketing campaign in your shop, does it draw more people in? The effectiveness of the marketing, and also obviously returning a customer. So what are there are challenges for retailer, especially when they are exploring whether or not they should have a people counter, and if they should, who should they go with, what's available out there. The first thing is too many options. They're overwhelmed with that. So people counting, no doubt, will make it into the core of retail business. So now retailers are not asking, should I have it? So then they know they need to have it now, but what to get that too many players out there. You get different opinions from your colleague, your consultant, or the different vendor, and there are different pricing levels there, also different pricing model. There are also different paths of upgrade. So those are too many things out there, and the retailer are usually constrained by tight budget, and they also want to stay competitive in the market against their own competitor, operating in a thin margin, and especially with the pressure from online competitors now. So we have worked with many retailers worldwide, globally. So we would like to, that's what we're wanting to share, our experience and what we've seen in our opinion here in this workshop. So like us, not just only retailer, like us as well, we are really reluctant to adopt new tools. We have information overload. We lack the technical expertise internally as well when we're evaluating a new tool, right? So this is stepping into the shoes of retailer. That's probably quite overwhelming for them. And there are lots of dashboard and metrics out there. So what you need is not just another platform. You need like a digester. You need a system that translate data into a simple and actionable insights. So you don't want another burden to interpret complex data. So many are still pondering, not sure what to start and invest in. So that's what we are wanting to give you, some of the tools to use today to see what's our options out there. Now, budget and needs alignment, that is very important. You may not everyone need the latest and greatest. For example, if you're a luxury jewelry brand shop, you may not need, we have an app called the store location analysis. You may not need that because you already know where you should put your shop, your flagship shop, right? But for a convenience store like 7-Eleven or any like news agent, those convenience store, the store location analysis is probably very important for you. So you're wanting to find a niche, what kind of population demographic, and where should you open your new store, so that becomes very useful. So what here we're helping in this workshop is a way so that you can define your actual needs. What is your must-have and what is your nice to have, and so forth on there. So we're going to discuss your selection criteria so that you can make an informed decision on there. Digital transformation. Top level management now care about digital transformation, and they want alignment to this long-term vision. It's not just a one-off project. So when investing in a system, it's very important that you ensure the system lasts for 15 years. Because it's future-proof. You have the upgrade path or ready there should you need it in the future, because a wrong decision is costly to the business, and you may get the blame. So this is a very tough job that you have there. So now I want to discuss about the current needs of a retailer. There are three levels of people counting system, and you may most of the retailer you will start off at level 1 to get a just a simple basic people counter, and then maybe in the later years you upgrade over the years, or for some retailers they may just forever stay at level 1, and that's perfectly fine because that's just what you need. Of course, there are some retailers who then they may already have a basic system that have served them well in the last 10, 15 years. And now it's time for them to then look into more advanced level. So FootfallCam, we do participate in all these three levels, and it's very economically viable to achieve. We have covered this a bit in our first workshop, so you may want to look into that on there. But most clients do start at the basic system for that. You may not need to have the needs or budget to have the advanced analytics now, but or the manpower, but there's option in there. So let me talk very briefly on what's the basic people counting system. It's a simple one where you just need to have a very accurate counting of number of people going in and going out. And with this alone, already you can get things like sales conversion. You could also know about, if I have my marketing campaign, have I get more people in and then more people making the sales. So with this is quite useful, and there are quite a lot of vendor out there that can provide you with a good quality system. We do provide that in a very economical way for that. And then moving on to a more super people counter, where apart from the number of people going in and out, you may now want to know a little bit more, like what about the number of people outside, the traffic? Has it, if I have double the number of people come in today, is it because the impact of my sales or the impact on my marketing, or has it simply just meant that the number of people passing outside has doubled anyway because it was it's a good weather, like today is 20 degrees, right? So everyone is out on the street, and therefore you have double the number of people coming in. So this is quite an important metrics to have to let you understand fully, what is impacting the customer flow and customer behavior inside your shop. Visit duration, group counting, as we mentioned there, and also demographics. Are they male, female? What's that? And what kind of age group are coming in to your shop to understand fully? And staff exclusion, because you want to exclude the number of people from there. If I want to show you a video like this, I should have shown it earlier. So for example, we will share these slides so that you can have all those linked there. So here, staff, we have a masking over on the chipset level. So you notice that we have blurred out. So this is compliant with any data privacy regulations. Yeah. So we count number of people passing by, because it's a very wide angle. You notice that we can actually cover the whole very wide entrance here, and some outside, so that we can actually physically see number of people going outside. Apart from people who are used to our system, we have Bluetooth and Wi-Fi counting as well. So on top of that, that's where we are reinforcing that too. And coming in, are they male, female? What kind of age group they are? Are they browsing, or are they browsing at this table? So we can do some in-store analytics around here, whatever the video can, the camera can cover. And staff, we use staff exclusion based on the uniform as well as behavior. Because if this staff has been here, moving around here for 3-4 hours, then that's a staff. So we use behavior as well to recognize if there's a staff or a customer. So with the one device at the entrance, then you can do quite a lot of that And of course, exporting into Power BI, we have a connector on the Power BI, and as well as other integration if your other system. Now then, moving on for that is more AI analytics on the customer journey. So like I show you just now with that view, some more in-store customer journey, your shopper classification, customer to staff interaction, engagement analytics, and more AI simulation. So this brief video will tell you briefly what you can add on to that. So understanding your catchment area population to the number of people going in, number of people actually browsing, those that are actually engaging with it, to your sales, so that we find out, where is your missing opportunity, where you have missed out with all the different AI apps. So we use your own data to train your own AI models to then come up with all the different apps for different stakeholder to simulate and to make AI recommendation. For that, we'll cover that a little bit shortly. So these are the 3 levels. As I mentioned, a lot of retailers start off with the basic, but knowing that they have a upgrade path on there. Now, when a CEO invests in a system, so when footfall data becomes part of their strategy, they want it to be utilized widely by as many stakeholders as possible, by as many teams in your business as possible. And in addition, nowadays is usually consensus buying. So you need to at least talk to the different stakeholders to see what they wish to get out of a footfall data. So they have different needs on there. So for example, a property manager. I put down here as essential and ultimate. Essential being that this is the essential needs. So if you get even just a basic people counter, this is what from day one they can get from. So for a property manager, they want to evaluate the footfall and sales performance on every store, and then comparing that to support, data-driven store opening and closure. So which one should I open more in which area, and which one should I close? Because the footfall to sales not ideal in those stores that are not performing stores. So they may just want to move it 2 streets over to get a better performance. So with this, on day one, they can already get it from a people counting, basic system. But ultimately, because now you have all your stores, all the population data. So we provide population data in your catchment. I believe this is a 1 mile catchment area, and you have your target demographic. So your target demographic may just be, if you're a toy shop, of course, then it will be the children. But if you are like a luxury store, then you might be for just the adult. So you may have a specific target demographic. So what is that in those catchment area? And then we calculate your potential footfall and potential sales that you can get if you're opening a store here compared to if you open it here and there. So sometimes you have different options. So what ultimately a property manager wants to see is you train your AI model with all the data that you have in all the other stores, their footfall, their sales, then population data, so that you click on it, 1 click, and it will shortlist the best store location. We're telling you, you should open it in here. So what is the latest 15 shop lots that are currently available out there for renting, in London, for example, that is suitable for us to open on there. So learning from the market, so and you can look at those. Sales director. So with a basic system, they can analyze per store, per hour, per seasonal trend of their footfall sales conversion graph on there. So they can identify underperforming stores with those high potential opportunities. Like here, this is the number of people coming in against, the sales revenue. So so you can see which quadrant are your better performing store, which one you need to support and work on. Then ultimately what they're wanting to do, because again, this will be your millions of data point. You already have that a lot. Some of our retail customers, they have already started beginning of this year using AI analytics to predict, because you have historical data. So you have millions of data points there to train this AI model. It will be able to tell you in the next 2 hours how many people are going to come in, and what kind of demographic are they? You know, in the next 2 hours, because it's a quieter time, you're going to have more elderly people come in. You're going to have 50 people who's going to come in, and 30 of them are going to be more of the elderly shopper, and 20 of them are going to look into this product, and 10 of them is going to be needing more engagement before they make a purchase. So these are the prediction we can give from the AI based on your historical data and your current trend and what you're promoting currently on there. This is very useful to assist with your sales team. So if you imagine if you can give this information to your sales team on your store, then they can know, okay, in the next half an hour or in the next 2 hours, what should I be concentrating on? Who should I be looking for to give the appropriate help to convert sales? Yeah, and this is a proven way for that on there. So marketing director. So marketing director, of course, you have a lot more analytics now. So traditionally, without the people counter, marketing director only look at sales. So if I put in a marketing effort, has it increased sales? But we know there's a lot of missing piece in the middle. So therefore, even just a simple footfall people counter in the store will be able to give them that analytics there. Because maybe that marketing effect was actually very effective in drawing more people coming into the store. It just didn't convert. So then you can understand the campaign was effective, but your pricing or maybe you just don't have enough stock. So your stocking level needs to go up and so forth on there. So now, as you can see, we have lots of analytics for the marketing director. They can benchmark campaign effectiveness across different stores. So maybe some event is more effective in part of the stores, but not in other. So what ultimately then we can identify is a campaign that has got the highest ROI, taking into account all this. Has it convert more turn-in rate, and and when they turn in, have you increased the engagement with the product, and then ultimately have you increase in sales? And also then we can also predict the ROI if a campaign is going to be repeated in different locations at different time. So maybe this location, if you're running this campaign, is more effective in the Easter period compared to the other, probably more during the summer period and so forth. So these you can click on here and look at more detailed in those dashboard. Operation manager, what do they wish? Of course, operation efficiency from them for the staff scheduling. So they're wanting footfall and sales versus the staff number. So this is footfall to staff ratio, and which hour they are overstaffed, which hour they are understaffed on this. So identifying the peak and off peak, and then they can reevaluate the staffing level at those. And of course, then you're reducing costs, but obviously increasing sales when it's most needed. Yeah. Or which stores would need most, because some stores can be really peak time over maybe on a Wednesday, another store maybe on a Thursday. So you reallocate staff in that way to suit the stores that most need it. Then ultimately what they're wanting to do is, again, prediction, the AI prediction, AI recommending the ideal staffing level for the next 2 weeks or for the next 1 month, and then combining into your scheduler, staffing scheduler, to see who can come in and allocate that. So make a workspace for them to very easily make the shift consistently well with the right staffing level. Now, merchandising manager, so they obviously want to compare the footfall with the heat map and then to the product, and understanding the correlation between the placement. If I put it right at the front, comparing if I put it on the side, what kind of conversion, what kind of passerby rate on there. So on this. Now, ultimately, then you want to predict the uplift in the sales. So, for example, you understand on a certain day, then you have people come in, they're going to walk through this and then go here. So this could be a more how should I say, frequented area compared to there. So does customer come in here, then come here? What if then now if I move this over there, what will happen? So you can use AI to simulate that. And a lot of merchandising manager, what they're using is they use for one store, because they have the full analytics of customer path in one store. So you don't have to do this across all your stores, but they can do one store, two stores of that. Using that, test it out, then they can simulate that into the other stores that doesn't have in-store analytics. So in that way, it's very cost effective, and it does give you all the different simulation. So what if I put it there? What if I put it right at the front? What kind of impact is there on there? And we can also, the AI can also propose 10 product placement. If you have then launch a new product, where should you be placing it? And also more ideal placement. So maybe one of that product there actually is here in a high traffic area, but because it's a very high ticketing price, so maybe you shouldn't put it here, and you should put it at a quieter area there. And maybe you want a staff to man there because it's a high ticket price, and you need more staff support. IT director, of course, these are IoT devices, and it sits into the business network. IT director is the main person who is going to look into this, commission it, and also to maintain it in the future. So the most essential thing is that they need to ensure system reliability, whether or not it can integrate with your other software, your BI system, and the InfoSec compliance. Yeah, and also easy to maintain. They don't want to have to onboard 100 devices and then making a headache for them, and with minimal operation disruption. So we have things like all the system management here, or the health check, or they're all auto health check, and ultimately what they wanting is an autonomous operation in the diagnostic, because we have then health check all going on. So we diagnose the problem, we do automatic recovery as well as of course then alerting. So when something is wrong, where our automatic health check has picked it up, then we alert to the relevant party, be it the help desk or the IT personnel, or us, or the store level. So we send all those alerts through, and data integrity, the recovery and alerts and all those things for that. So that is a fully developed business workspace for obviously for all the stakeholders, and making it align to produce a seamless digital transformation plan for them. So now, what is the selection criteria? So we are wanting to provide a more universal guide, so that you can evaluate different vendors based on this criteria. This is where, because we have worked with lots of retailer, we kind of understand when they're exploring, when they're looking at what kind of things that they should consider on there. We have an RFI template here, which I'll briefly show you. Here, which you can make use. So in here we have all this, so you can make use of this. It's a template to kind of like provide you a starting point, so you can use this to compile for your own RFI document. Yeah, so from what is a must-have that you should have. Of course, different people have different retailers have different must-have. You may not need the added capability, but you may need some of them. So it's all here for that. So what we want in there, they will cover the total cost of ownership, how you can minimize your switching risk, how you can have the fewest device to achieve what your requirement is. So get less complexity. You want to avoid margin stacking, because if the more hoops that you're involving, then the margin stacks up, and then of course then the cost goes up. So you want to avoid that. So how you can reduce software developer or data analyst involvement. So for example, just now what you've seen there, the AI can do the data analyst job for you to a certain extent. And if you have the ready-made dashboard, then of course then you can reduce the cost on your software developer to customize the dashboard for you. Operation efficiency and easy to maintain is very, very important because you're going to use it for years to come. And you want to, because if you're using the data to that level with all your stakeholder involving, you need to make sure that your data is accurate day in, day out, every day, every hour. So, but you need to make sure that it's easy to maintain as well. Otherwise, then it become very, very, you need a lot of manpower. So you want to also consider staff's turnover. What if the key person have left your company? Then would people know how to do that? Is it a high training cost to use the software? So the solution should be simple enough so that it's self-explanatory, so that everyone go in, look at the dashboard. The only thing they need to know is the login password, and on there. And if we have any training available. And of course, the business impact across all the stakeholders, how useful it is. It must benefit more than just one department, surely, when you're investing in the system now. And is it useful for the future planning? So in here, we will have those, and also, of course, the IT compatibility. It has to work with your existing IT infrastructure, your existing system, or if you already have a system. A lot of customers have come to us and say, okay, I have installed the Brickstream, or I've installed an Iris's time of flight. They now stop producing. So even if I want to continue using that, it's not possible. So they have got to come to us, and then they will say, all right, for the new device, I will buy from you. But what about the old one? I'm not really keen, or I don't have the budget to completely replace them. So how are we working with them? So we have those legacy care plan that we can work on. We can talk a little bit more about that, and meeting the IT standards and security policy. So this will be your starting point. So now, what is the requirement? So how do you work out your requirement? So when you move from RFI to RFP, you will need to list down your requirement. So how do you write it all out in your requirement? You want to work out what are your must-have now? What are those you have to answer now? What are the must-have? And what are your optional? And what is the future upgrade possibilities? And what is cost involved in the future upgrade possibilities? So maybe now is the AI is optional. It's good to have, but you don't need it now. Yeah, but you need to consider about the cost. So in 3 years' time, if I then want AI, because all my competitors have AI and I have the data there to train my AI model, what cost would it be if that? And then if you then go through the different parties, if they're margin stacking issue and local support, those are all important, because we want to put it in your requirement that you have a local support to do your installation, to do your after sales support, and all that. So we have this questionnaire that you can go through. So you can go through like, what are your functional requirements? So you can write there, people counting, what are those questions, and the response from your vendor, what your data needs it to be, if you want in customer journey and so forth. What are the others? And one of the non-functional requirement, like accessibility. Do you have single sign-on and things like this? Data privacy, IT security, support, how serviceable it is, and your technology assessment, architecture, and all this. So all those are there. It's a big questionnaire. So you can use this as a template. Just just to save you some time and kickstart it. Some part of it is probably relevant to you, some part are not, so you can make use of that. Vendor comparison, then you might want to have, is a good idea that you have a checklist, a form, so to allow you to assess maybe 2, 3, or 5 your top vendors, because you want to do this, do your due diligence to assess all of them. So what are the functions you want to assess in that? So you don't want to miss out who has the right price or those right functions, what are the added service. The other thing you want to also analyze is probably things like not only just a feature, but these are like all the features here, the base for basic people counter. If you want to install analytics, what about third-party data set? Do you want to put in population data, economic data, and also like weather data? What about integration? So you want to assess them, up to different vendor. Of course, you can add more vendor if you want to assess that. AI simulation, also things like a speed of delivery, speed of installation, speed of response, your SLA on your support, and all those customization. Are you able to customize those reporting? And do you have a support ticketing system? How do you respond to support? And if you have a health check, so that I don't have to proactively go into, I don't have to log in to check if things is working. So you have a proactive way, a health check to help you, to alert you on different things. So these are, this is quite a comprehensive checklist. Yeah, you can use that to do that. And also, sometimes you want to look into like other devices like CCTV add-ons and any other integration with your door, with your HVAC. So things like this, all those things, you can also look into it. And are you needing end-to-end platform for that? So you can analyze that too. Now then, usually is very common now that you would then go into a POC, proof of concept, on there. And if you're needing to go into that, we have a template here that you can also use, like a statement of work. What is the project objective? What's the scope of work? What hardware? What software? And what training you need? The so what's the responsibility? Of course, proof of concept is a partnership to get it working. So what is FootfallCam going to do? What is the customer going to do? And so support model during that, when it's critical level, where is minor level, what are the deliverables, and what is the success measure? How do you want to measure success to define the proof of concept as a success, and then you move on to the next stage, the deployment stage, and timeline and mitigation plan and others. So this is quite a comprehensive guide that you can make use as a starting point again, because what is this, you want to define what is this strategy, what is in the strategic of this proof of concept. You want to define the measurable then, and different, you want to collect, using this to collect all the different stakeholder feedback from there, and to operational level. So you want to evaluate, of course, in here, you're going to evaluate the accuracy of it. You're going to evaluate all the dashboard that is promised to you, and all the metrics that is there, and what is the delivery timeline, and the design process. That's what you want to evaluate, as well as, of course, the technical side. You want to look at the IT feed, and also the total cost of ownership on that. Yeah. So this covers the RFI stage for most retailers. The next workshop, we're going to talk about the RFP on there, and that we're going to cover more specifically. If it's your shop, what kind of device that you would want to have to. What is the minimum number of system that you can use to provide a full store coverage if you want to install coverage. If not, just at the entrance, what are you getting? What is the cost estimation based on these requirement? And also the 3 different proposals, we're going to talk about the basic, the super, the AI analytics. So what is the cost involved in there? For example, like the AI simulation, it comes free with the system. And what are the solutions that meet both short-term and the long-term needs? So this we will discuss in the next workshop. And then the following workshop, we will talk about the RFQ. So in RFQ, we're going to talk in more details, not only just the system price, but any accessories, like do you need a drop hole, a wall bracket, those kind of additional accessories. What about server? You want to go on cloud-based or on-premise server. What are the installation arrangement? Our partners, our local partners, and your local support, quotation, upgrades. So those would be more talking about in the RFQ, more in details on that. So we want to be open and transparent to cover all this, so it make it easier for you to make a decision. Okay, thank you. So now we move on to the Q&A
Thank you.
session.
Thank you, Dr. Melissa, for the insightful presentation. So we've covered a lot of great points, and I'm sure the audience has a lot of questions. So I can see we already have received some questions, so we can move on to the Q&A section.
Okay. Looking at that, so one question, could you explain more about the prediction, the AI prediction, how the prediction works, what benefits it provides, and how the predictions presented to the users? Good question. Okay, so the prediction system rely on historical data and machine learning algorithm. So it is your data and is usually very store specific. So because it's this store, you have this store historical data. So it's only just your data. As we mentioned, rubbish in, rubbish out. So we're not going to use generic data. We're not going to provide you with any industry data. Other people's data, you're not going to be provided for. So it will be rely on your store, your own historical data, and then the machine learning algorithm. So you need to then train your AI model to then forecast future outcomes. Then, of course, the more data that you feed in, so you feed in your footfall data, you feed in your sales data, you feed in your marketing data, your calendar, when you're going to have this market campaign, when not, when you run that, weather data, your population data, your catchment area population data, all those data. And the more we fit in, the more the AI model is going to learn and being able to give you a richer prediction. Yeah. So the prediction output, the system will forecast like the expected footfall for a given store at that time range, or sales projection based on your past conversion rate, what time you have more sales and things, what are your staff requirement estimates and all that. And a lot of queue prediction. We've done a lot for that, especially because like things like supermarket. So if you have 50, so if you're predicting that you're going to have 50 people come in now, they're going to end up in your tills in half an hour time. Yeah. So you want to have this alert to your store manager to say, in half an hour time, can you make sure you open 5 more tills? So this gives them time to react on there. Now, if you like schedule a meeting, we can then go through more on what you can see on your dashboard. Yeah, another question. We have a retail chain of 150 stores in Italy. In-store analytics has been around for the last 15 years. Why it has not been widely deployed in the industry? So that's a very good question. In-store analytics not new. It was capable many years ago already. One main reason is the cost. So, and the cost and the technology at that time, what are the coverage? So 3D people counting is very, very accurate. And the first one, like for example, Brickstream, is very accurate. The issue with that is the coverage is not very big. A small entrance is perfect, but when you're talking in-store analytics, your store is very big. So For example, if you needed 10 brick stream last time, now you only need 1 Pro 2 from us at the entrance and 2 Pro 1 inside the store. So brick stream, if we around the cost about $1,000 per unit. So when you need a 10 brick stream, it will be 10,000. But now when you're needing the 1 Pro 2 and 2 Pro 1 from us, it's around $1,000. So the difference is price. So from 10,000 to 1,000. So now it become then the ROI is there. Yeah. And also the data metrics. Previously, there was no effective way of doing staff exclusion. You can't do staff exclusion, then your heat map is going to be skewed or contaminated by your own staff movement around there. And you wouldn't be able to measure customer and staff engagement because you can't distinguish the staff. So you can't measure that. And also AI simulation. So previously you don't have AI model. So you have loads of those raw data. Then you would need a data analyst to go and analyze that. So again, that's cost on top of that. So if you had that last time, it's probably, too many data, nobody analyzing it. But now you're using AI. Is cheap. It's very powerful. It can analyze all those millions of data points, and it can come up with very accurate, very meaningful, very useful simulations and prediction. So therefore, that's where our customers that have been with us now, they've already started using it, and it's amazing what kind of insight it can provide to them. Move on to the next question. We own 5 pharmacy stores in Mexico. My boss has asked me to source the basic people counter. And how much would your system cost to my source? So we're talking about the basic now. So all you need would be the 1 Pro 2 at the entrance, because the Pro 2 can cover very wide entrance now. So for example, at the ceiling height of 4 meter, it can cover 9.5 meter wide. So even with those shops you have in your shopping mall, so usually with a very wide entrance, you just need one device. So our price is very competitive, and it includes all the complete software. So the cost of ownership for that, for 5 pharmacy, we're talking about maybe it's going to be less than 1,000. It probably, even including installation, it will be less than 1,000 per store. So for 5 stores, it will be for less than 5,000. Yeah. How do you next question, sorry. How do you identify staff? It is a technology called re-ID, re-identification. So we're using staff appearance, sometimes with the uniform. They have weather. So we use machine learning to train it to recognize this uniform. So we exclude them. We also use re-ID on the path that they are taking. For example, the staff goes from behind the cashier area or behind the staff workstation. They start from there and then they come up to the shop floor. Then that obviously is a staff. And also the behavior. So they may have stayed in the store for a very lengthy period of time, like 3-4 hours. And how they interact with the customer. So they interact with this customer and they interact with that customer. So we're taking into consideration of all this uniform, the path, their behavior to re-ID the stuff on there. So it will provide a very accurate staff exclusion on there. Moving on to the next question. Yes, this is one that I mentioned about our legacy care plan. So in some of the stores that have been using the irises time of flight, we have a lot of customers that have moved from there in the last year or so because irises have closed down. And I am looking for a new system. But yet you want to reuse those. You don't want to have to go on another capital capex layout to replace them. We do have a legacy care plan. Come and talk to us, where we can integrate all different kind of third-party devices, not only just irises. We have integrated Brickstream, Sovis, Retail Next, ShopTrack, all those other, and you can integrate it into here. We can take your data from those existing devices that are still functioning, and no extra cost to come into our system. So you can enjoy our full enterprise class function. Of course, what kind of data they can provide, you will still have that. You wouldn't have all those added data that we provide, but maybe that is sufficient for you already. So then so that you can still have what it is you are having now, but know that your future, your upgrade path is there, and the devices that is not working now, you will then replace it with the FootfallCam device. So this gives you a very good transition and plan. Another question, I want to talk to my different stakeholders. Do you have any documents as a guideline for me to reference? And yes, we can provide you with a stakeholder briefing pack. So it will be a talking points. So to tailor to the sales team or the property team or the operation team and the IT team. Yeah, so you can use that. And we have all those sample dashboard to view. So we can share those dashboard with you. So you can share them to the different role. And also the ROI talking points and the selection checklist. So we will share this. Okay. That's all. I hope I have answered most of this question. Thank you.
Once again, thank you for everyone for joining the workshop today, and we'll see you again next week.
Thank you.